So when I took my measurement to the top of the garage door, it was 94 inches. 94 inches comes to about here, which as you can see is behind that spring. It says to come up 2.5 inches from there, and that's where it's supposed to go. And actually that'll clear my spring, so I think we're good to go. The old mounting bracket for the rail system was attached here, so it may have been a little bit high, but I'm going to do it where it's supposed to go. I'm not going to put it back in there, because also it looks like it was kind of offset to one side as well. So this person didn't have it centered and maybe had it a little bit high. I'm not going to do what they did, because I'm quite certain they did it incorrectly. So next, take your bracket, use a pencil to match where your holes are going to be, and then take the appropriate size drill bit and drill that out and install this using your lag screws. That's what you should have after you've got your bracket installed. So the next step is where it gets a little bit tricky. You may want to have someone assist you during this point. Maybe lift this end up and hold it while you take that end and insert it into your bracket. You'll see you have this pin and a cotter pin to hold it in. You'll just slide that right through your bracket there, through this piece on the other side of the bracket, and put your pin in. I've got my rail attached on that end, and I've got it sitting on a ladder on this end. Here's where it might get a little bit tricky, and you might have to get a little bit creative. You've got to take whatever you've got going on there, use this stuff, and attach it to these slots here using the bolts provided. And you have to do that in such a way that this rail is level to the ground, or the power head right here is slightly below grade, level grade. So I can't really tell you how to do this. You're just going to have to get a little creative and make sure everything is level, make sure everything's bolted up properly and secured nice and well. And also you want to make sure that it's in a straight line going this way. You don't want to be cocked to one side or the other, the rail. So yeah, that's going to take a little bit of creativity, but that's what you got to do. So it looks like the configuration for me is going to be something like this. I had to give that angle iron a little twist, so I just used a couple of crescent wrenches, one to stabilize it here, and the other one I attached down here, gave it a little bend in it, so that these can bend downward and wrap around the side of the opener right here. Okay, we've got everything all bolted up. The next thing to do is to attach this little arm here. Now, this new kit came with a new piece to bolt onto the door. However, I'm not going to use it because this was in pretty much the proper location. It said to put it as high as possible, but no lower than the top roller. That's the top roller over there. Using the line here, the top of the window, you can see that it's right about in the same position. So we're good there. The next thing it said to do was to put it at a 50-degree angle, which I'm pretty close, but they also said to space these two nuts as far apart as possible. I could get it closer to 50 degrees, but then I can only put the bolts right here next to each other. And that makes me a little bit nervous. I wanted to have a little bit more leverage on that, so I just moved it up one more notch. Yeah, and you just connect these, putting in the cotter pins provided. I think for down here provided a nut and bolt with the nylon threads on it so it wouldn't back out. But since I'm not using the piece that came with it, I actually have like a little cotter pin here, and I'm using that.